EFT is emotional freedom techniques. It's a psychology tool and the energy psychology area. So it's similar to cognitive behavioural therapy. But in studies, EFT not only works faster than cognitive behavioural therapy, but it actually the effects are a lot longer lasting. So there's been a lot of research on this particular technique in the areas of post-traumatic stress disorder, eating disorders, and chronic pain. So they're just 3 areas, but I've seen a lot of other things that it actually helps, including addictions, just general stress, and particularly with children. It's very good with working with children as well. So basically it's using psychology, so remembering particular incidents, and then using acupuncture points. So you're actually stimulating the acupuncture points yourself with tapping. So that's why it's called tapping. So what this does is when you bring up a memory or even a feeling in your body doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So you might think about something that upset you 10 years ago and your body gets the same physiological response as if it were happening again. And so this triggers that fight or flight response. So if you're doing this constantly, if you're getting triggered with little things like a phone call, an email, a text message, a memory, your body gets that same response. So, it affects everything from sleep, digestion, your DNA, like it actually affects the replicating of DNA, so you actually increase your aging and damage cells and that sort of thing if you're constantly in a stressed situation. So what you do when you you actually bring and acknowledge an aspect that concerns you. So you get your body to feel it and you acknowledge that, this is where I'm at right now. And then by using these particular points that I'll be going through, it settles your body down. So then you can have that memory and it doesn't trigger that response. So this is where, that traumatic experience no longer has an effect on you. So that's why it's so good with things like post-traumatic stress. And also phobias, like you can actually deal with, getting rid of things like that. So it's an amazing tool. So what I'll do is run through the sequence for you. Now, the important thing is where it's most effective is using your own words. So I'm going to do sort of a general tapping, and then you can insert your own words. So the best thing to do is get familiar with the points. You can run through the points without even saying anything, just to get familiar with where they are and how they feel. And then by just even tapping on these acupuncture points, it will just settle any anxiety or stress feeling that you have at the moment. As I said, I'll just do a general tapping sequence. If you go on YouTube, you can actually search tapping for and do any particular thing, like tapping for fear, tapping for not having enough time, tapping for not sleeping, and you'll find little things. Now, the points do vary. So there's, obviously this tool's been around for about 25 years. It's as it's developed, the points that you actually tap on have changed. The sequence that I've been taught is called evidence-based EFT. So these points are the ones that have been studied extensively here in Australia. So if you do see variations, you can either use different ones or stick with this protocol. So it starts with, we call the first thing is called a setup statement. So this is where you acknowledge where you're at right now, and so it will be a negative. So it's like, even though I have this pain in my arm, and you're acknowledging that it is there, and you finish with, traditionally you say, I love and accept myself, but some people aren't comfortable using those words. Like you might actually think, I don't love myself, I don't accept myself. So you can use this is where I'm at and I'm okay. You know, I accept myself and this is where I am, something like that. But for now, I'm going to use I love and accept myself. All right, so the first point is just on the ridge of your hand. So this is covering really 2 acupuncture points. So you're using, for this point, I use 3 fingers on the other hand. Either hand's okay, and at any time you can swap sides, and we only do 1. So the first point is the side of the hand. And that's where you do the setup statement and you say it 3 times. And so you just tap while you're saying the statement. I'll do the run through the points and then do some of the words. Now the first point we use on the body is the inner part of the eyebrow. So I usually tap with 2 fingers, and I'm just tapping with enough pressure that you're feeling it, but it's not hurting. So inner part of the eyebrow, the side of the eye, and then below the eye, so on the orbital ridge, and then below the nose, the chin, so in the line under the lips. Now the collarbone, you're going to the medial border of the collarbone here. So you can just tap with a few fingers there just to make sure you get the actual point. And then under the arm, so you're doing just where the bra strap comes across. So just under the arm. And then the last point you're doing is on top of the head. So this is basically, the points do 20, so it's right on the crown. And a lot of people tap with the whole hand there just to make sure you get the point, or you can just do the few fingers as long as you're getting right at the top of the head. Now it's quite good when you start to actually acknowledge where you're at. So if it's a pain you're tapping on, even an emotion, rate it. So give it a rating out of 10 so you can sort of work out how much it drops, how much you need to go through the sequence. Sit with, okay, I'm feeling anxious about a particular situation. So, and I think, that's sitting at about an 8 out of 10. All right, so we do the setup statement. Even though this problem I'm thinking about right now is making me really stressed and anxious, I love and accept myself. Even though this problem in my life right now is causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, 8 out of 10, I love and accept myself. Even though this problem I have is causing me so much stress and anxiety, it's 8 out of 10 right now, I love and accept myself. This stress in my life, making me really anxious, feeling lots of stress in my body. The stress is about 8 out of 10. I'm feeling stress in my stomach and my chest, tightness in my stomach, making me anxious. These feelings of stress, this stress that I'm feeling, this thing in my life that I remember is causing me stress. It's making me stressed. I feel the stress all through my body, giving me physical symptoms, some pain and discomfort, this stress in my body. 8 out of 10. And I'll take a breath now and tune into whatever you're tapping on and see if that's shifted a bit. So generally that was 2 rounds I did. So you'll usually find it may have dropped, say, from an 8 to maybe a 6. Now, what you do is see where you're at and then go through that sequence again. But you don't, if it's the same thing, you don't need to do the setup statement. So if I feel, that's dropped to about a 6, I'm going to go through another round, a round or 2, just from the eyebrow point. This stress in my body, this stressful situation in my life, it's making me anxious. I'm feeling stress in my body. 6 out of 10. The stress that I'm feeling. Tightness in my chest. Pain in my stomach. Stress in my body. These worries in my life causing me stress. It's 6 out of 10. The stress that I'm feeling, causing me pain. The stress in my body. 6 out of 10. So each time take a breath and just sit where you're at, give it another rating, and then go through another round if you need to. If things have shifted, you can always change or modify your setup statement. So go back to here, and if you think, if it's changed and you need to change that to more specific, so like a particular incident and you want to tap on that, then you can go back and start it again here. Okay, hopefully that's a helpful tool.